And so, beloved ones, we are Alcazar, the guides of the Stargate work. And we wish to say a few words about the potentials for these days together. Because the essence of life energies are far more than even these two have explored or fully realized up until this moment of now. And just as the Stargate work is infinite, is always expanding, so too is the accessibility of this essence of life energy. There have been major shifts in the timeline of humanity recently. We gathered with 1,000 people on your island of Kos, and far more joining around the world. And beloved ones, an energetic shift indeed occurred. This shift is creating ripples, rearrangements, reconfiguring in your individual and collective timelines. And so we are here to encourage you to claim your own highest potential. Because as the challenges arrive, they are all opportunities for growth. And yet, if there is no refuge, no place of safety where you can return to nourish yourself, you slowly, possibly can become depleted, weary, exhausted. Beloved ones, it is time for you to claim the tools and the resources that you have within you already that can show you the way to rejuvenate self, that can show you the way to simply bathe in the frequencies of spirit. Because every time you do so, you are opening the doorway to the infinite within self. You are opening the doorway to the mystery of the universe itself, that it may flow through you and quite literally energize you on a molecular, cellular level. But also, it fills your cup, so to speak. It fills you up on a spiritual level. And when you learn how to locate this infinite well of source energy within you, you can simply relax into that energy whenever you choose. You can create an oasis of oneness in your life. There are so many ways to do this. And yet this essence of life energy is a particularly powerful tool. This one, Julianne learned how to access the essence energy through a series of personal sessions, not because she was wanting to create a new field of work. Not at all. It happened quite naturally because she was desiring to free herself of the deepest emotional impacts that were created in her childhood intentionally by her superconscious self. Understand, beloved ones, those of you who are on the leading edge of awakening, so many of you have chosen very difficult childhoods. You have chosen situations that shut you down energetically. You do this primarily because it connects you to the storylines that humanity has been living for eons. And you know inside that your soul, your spirit, your humanness, all are strong enough to overcome the shutdown. Your desire to come alive, to awaken, is strong enough to fuel your journey back into wholeness, to fuel your desire to heal yourself and set yourself free. And as you set yourself free, you create a pathway to freedom for others to follow. And so this is the work that you are doing here these days. For this essence energy can flow to the deepest parts of yourself to unlock pathways to freedom. And know it well, beloveds, it is through these deepest parts that the deepest gifts within you can come alive again. Because as long as you are shutting down the depths of you, out of unconsciousness, out of an unconscious protection mechanism against feeling these things, the pathway to feeling the most power within you is also restricted, limited. And the true gifts, beloveds, arise from the depths.
And so, dearests, as we often say, we are honored at the opportunity to gather with you again. And when we say again, it is because many of you have distant memories, distant knowings, that we have spent time together in the temples, in your training as priests and priestesses, and through the eons and ages. You have indeed touched and worked with this essence of life energies. And as humanity worked through its descent, the access to these energies became more and more distant. And yet, it was still accessible. It was necessary to separate you from the access, for there were many that were being abused for their capacity to tap in and work with this energy. And many that were abusing. And it was just part of the path of descent that humanity was being brought down to. And yet, this time, this historical time, where humanity begins to make its step towards the ascent again, which is indeed what this new timeline is about. And yet, as you move upward in this ascension process, you will indeed experience many sub-cycles, one could say, of descent and ascent. For that is the way humans learn and grow. And when I say, oh, you will descend many times, this does not mean that you will experience total, utter despair and grief and darkness over and over again. Please do not be confused. What it means is that in the darkness, in the depths of the deepest waters, where one finds themselves, this is the place where pearls are formed. One must go diving and find the oyster that has been irritated by the grain of sand in order to create these precious illuminated jewels. And part of what you are awakening inside of your own self is your capacity to find your own illuminated pearls. There is an ancient story, as ancient as your human mind can remember, which is the story of the descent of the goddess. This story follows the path that your planet Venus makes through the sky. And today, specifically, marks the time when Venus makes its third spark movement of descent. And as the ancient story goes, this one that has been known as Inanna gets dressed up in all of her beautiful adornments and goes knocking on the door of the underworld to visit her sister, Erishkigal. And when she comes to the door, she is asked to take off one of her garments. And today is the day. It marks the day, I shall say, of when she is to take off her beautiful jeweled necklaces. And while many of you might wonder, how does this relate to what we are doing? I remind you that each and every one of you has your own string of pearls. Whether you are in the body of a man or a woman makes no difference, because the feminine aspect within each and every one of you makes this journey of descent. And while you are working here, you might remember, as we begin to tap into these energies, a time of illumination, a time in your own timeline, in your own beingness, that you stood proud, elegantly adorned in the string of pearls that you yourself dove for and claimed. We wish for you to remember your own totality and be patient with oneself. Be willing to gather those pearls again, to be able to speak and to share eloquently. I am a goddess of divinity. I am a god of divinity. And I am here to proclaim that I am a being of the Creator. I am an expression of unity unfolding. I am magic. I am beauty. I am power. And as you work, this is not the best word we are gathering, as we explore and rediscover these energies, you are finding more support to truly embody, to bring into the physical form the expression that you know you are here to be. You know who you are. And as you tap into these energies, more and more of that will begin to come forward, not just in an etheric way, but in the way that you move, the way that you speak, the way that you are seen, the way that you feel. You do not have to fear who you know you are here to be. Because like many of the beings that are devoted to you, I remind you that I am with you. I am with you on this journey, as I have always been with you. And I want you to know that deep inside, not just in your mind, but in the depths of your beingness. Working with these energies is indeed a celebration. And I am honored to be with you again.